Hey, Bayek, it's me, Ian. And in today's video, well, I'm continuing my look at classic Doctor Who. And this is The Trial of the Time Lord from 1986. Now, this part is called The Mysterious Planet. And it's from season 23 now, and it's 4 episodes, and they're 25 minutes each. Now, previously, we'd had Revelation of the Daleks, and now, after this, we'll have from this Trial of the Time Lord series, Mind Warp. So, ironically, this title and this series is called The Trial of the Time Lord, and that is seen in many ways that Doctor Who itself was on trial because the threat of cancellation was very real. It had been put on hiatus for just a while, not too long. It was over a year. It was but at the time that was considered quite significant. And as we know what is going to happen, eventually it does get a very long hiatus. But this is an interesting concept, the whole idea of putting a series of stories together under one umbrella, which is the trial of the Doctor. A very interesting concept. Did it work? Well, I don't know. We'll have to see as we go along. Now, this first section, of course, is written by Robert Holmes, so in itself, that is a great start, you would have thought, but perhaps this isn't one of Robert Holmes' best. He wasn't very well. He was, unfortunately, this was, I think, his last story, in fact. He not very well. I think it's one of his last stories. He says he's quite ill. It was transmitted on the 6th of September and the 27th of September 1986. Now, the script editor is still Eric Saywood, and it's produced by John Nathan Turner. The music is by Dominic Glynn. And I think before I go into the cast and what have you, it's worth pointing out that this has one of the best opening scenes in terms of spectacular looking piece of film in the whole history of Doctor Who. Yes, the opening scene is a model sequence which they spent quite a lot of money on, which is the Time Lord space station, and we see it dragging the TARDIS through inside it, and it looks absolutely fantastic. It really does. So when you look at it from that point, you think, "Wow, this is a great start to the series." And then, of course, the other aspect to mention as well is that the music now has been changed. We've got Dominic Glynn's rearranged opening title music. However, this is the shortest lived title sequence. It was only used in this season alone. Again, there's that sense about this, just stating that something is amiss in Doctor Who. They're trying to change that, but it's a difficult struggle. There's so much against them. And was this series a good idea to do it like this? That is the interesting part. Because as we know, at the end of all this, that's Colin Baker's run finished. They changed actors. They decided they don't want him. So there's so many things going on here in this build up that, this is the latter days of classic Doctor Who. The embers have been stoked and it's dying. That's what it seems to be. But though I'm putting that kind of spin on this, I always see we should look as well. There are some good stuff in these stories. Maybe it was the format, the way it was done, but there are good things in this, as hopefully you'll see as I review the stories and we look at them as a whole. Say this is the first story. Now, the cast is, of course, Colin Baker, who plays the Sixth Doctor, Nicola Bryant, who plays Perry. Then we've got Linda Bellingham, who plays the Inquisitor. She was an actress who was in Confessions of a Driving Instructor, 1976. Sweeney, 1977. Stand Up Virgin Soldiers, 1977. Don't Go Breaking My Heart, 1999. Devil's Gate, 2004. And she's very much a lot of TV series and also some TV films. Great contributor having her in Doctor Who. I think she's really good in it, actually. Then we've got another interesting face, which is Michael Jason, who plays the Valeyard, which is effectively like the chief prosecutor against the Doctor, who is presenting the prosecution's evidence. Of course, he was in Cromwell, 1970. Yes, what a brilliant film that is. But I do go on about Cromwell. And he plays Ireton as well. He's a great character in the Civil War period. Anyhow, Henry Ireton, he plays in that. Anyhow, I'm going off. So he was in Nicholas and Alexandra, 1971, which is a brilliant film as well. He was in Bequest to the Nation, 1972. Again, another great film. And he was in Craze, 1974, which is featuring an over-the-top performance by Jack Palance. It's amazing. Absolutely. Zulu Dawn, 1979, is in that. He was in Islander 2, 1994, which doesn't receive very good reviews either. But there we are. But he was in a lot of TV series and TV films as well. Then we've got Tony Selby playing Glitz. Oh, a great role. This is an absolutely great role for Tony Selby. Films that he was in was Paul Cow, which does come up quite a bit, 1967, and the brilliant Witchfinder General, 1968. Vincent Price in that, absolutely brilliant. And in another brilliant film, Villain, Richard Burton stars in that, 1971. Tony Selby's in that one. He was in Superman, 1978. Yes, I mean, wow, some great films. He was in Loop, 1997. And I've come across this film before. I've never seen it, but I hear a lot about it, which is Cockneys versus Zombies, 2012. Is in that one. But he was a real face in a lot of TV series and TV films. You can see him, very recognisable. Great actor, really, yeah. And then we've got Joan Sims playing Queen Katrika. Oh, Joan Sims. I love Joan Sims. You can't help but love her. I just think she's great. Not everybody agreed in a later career. I just think she's great. She was in 22 Carry On films. Wow. 22. That was from Carry On Nurse, 1959, right through to the awful Carry On Emmanuel in 1978. But I think I've always thought she was great in the whole Carry On films, and just seeing her here, I think she's great. And of course, she did a lot of various TV shows and TV films. Absolutely wonderful. So that is the sort of main cast. So what is this story about? Well, I think it kind of explains itself. It's called The Trial of the Time Lord, and basically the Doctor is put on trial, and each story is in fact part of the testimony against him, and we see it on a screen. So this is the first part, and we see the story, and yes, now not everybody's that keen on this story. I think it's okay. I wouldn't say it's the greatest Robert Holmes story particularly, because he's such a great writer. What a great writer! However, I wouldn't be quite as harsh as some people are. I know the robot even looks a bit dodgy, but when I see Tony Selby, I love Tony Selby's performance as Glitz. He just adds something, and of course, it's Joan Sims there. So I mean, for me, it's got all that quality. I do understand. Yes, it isn't the greatest of stories, but I actually really enjoyed it. Even the robot, the dodgy robot. It's just it's okay. And Colin Baker is great, and Nicola Brandt is. I love Perry now. Their relationship again, we see it is really good here. From the opening scenes, when they're together under the umbrella, you just already now they've moved on, and they're much more comfortable together. You can see they're not bickering and arguing like they were. No, this did. In the last series, they did start to get that in. I think in the sort of later episodes, but here we see it now. It's moved on. They've been traveling together now. Who knows what those adventures have been? But yeah, they're much more comfortable, and it's good to see. But of course, knowing what's further down the line, it's kind of, for me, a bit sad, really, because I do like her as a character. I think she's absolutely superb and added a lot to it. But we know, if you know what's going to happen to her, it is sad. And well, she's going to be leaving. Let's be honest there. She's going to leave this series, which for me is sad. I'd love to have seen her being longer in it, but there we are. And of course, Colin Baker. This is his last season as well. As we know, there's that sense, as I said before, that Doctor Who is in danger. Yes, there was even in the hiatus, a single in the pop charts came out about TARDIS in distress or something like that. There was a serious campaign that people were worried about Doctor Who being cancelled, but he's always there hanging over. There is kind of an inevitability about it, even though we get after this another 3 series or seasons of Sylvester McCoy, which didn't bode well at the beginning of that run, but by the end of the 3rd season, it looked really strong, different kind of Doctor Who. Brilliant it looked again. So much could have developed from that, but didn't. So before I go, I will show you this, which is the DVD. There we are. Brilliant. And there's some of the extras. There's some. This documentary is excellent on here. There's a disc. Look how nicely illustrated the disc is. And we've got the lovely, leaflets. Just giving me a bit of information that I always enjoy seeing. And I'll show you this. It is actually from this whole box set. Fantastic. The whole box set here. Yeah. And also, here is the Blu-ray, which is brilliant. Look at that. The whole of season 23, the whole Trial of the Time Lords. Again, some more brilliant documentaries, all sorts of extended scenes and deletions, and these are wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Absolutely love them. And that's it. Yes. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and then we'll let you know when I produce these videos. And also, you can see in my playlist all the reviews I've done of Doctor Who, and I also do a lot of film reviews and other TV series, as sometimes a bit of music. And if you like this video, please give this video a like. And if you give the video a like, it gets it out onto YouTube, and hopefully other people might enjoy this. It's good for the channel, so please give it a like. And if you've got any comments, put your comments down, because I love to read your comments. I'll always reply to them. And that's it. I have gone on too long. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.